what is happening inside the Chinese region of Xinjiang? Well, it depends on who you ask and what you watch. According to Chinese state media, life in the region is peaceful, prosperous, idyllic, and it's wall-to-wall coverage. In just over a week, China's state-run English-language broadcaster CGTN has posted almost 100 stories on its website related to Xinjiang. Human rights groups have for years been documenting widespread arbitrary detention, torture, and forced labour involving the region's ethnic minorities. But watching this media blitz, you could very easily think otherwise.
Hi everybody, I'm sitting in the driver cabin.
The reports are full of upbeat stories about economic progress and ethnic harmony. Here, one of CGTN's most recognisable presenters, Liu Xin, asks residents of Xinjiang's largest city to rate their lives out of 10.
9分吧。
9分，你呢？
我也9分。
也9分，扣的1分是什么？
The scores are predictably high. And they've recruited China-friendly Western bloggers too.
Everything is so normal. And that's one thing I got from the conversation with them. I didn't feel like I'm talking to somebody in a different situation.
So what's the purpose of stories like these?
Nowadays, it's about emphasizing on discrediting research is critical to China, presenting a counter-narrative which focuses on Uyghurs in China. So they put out pictures and videos of happy Uyghur people.
这些都没有这种事情，现在都是自由啊。
That's difficult to believe for this Uyghur man living in Australia, who's been separated from his wife, daughter and son for more than 5 years.
It makes me furious and it makes me even, shiver as to I cannot find any words. I'm lost for words to describe those outrageous claims.
China's state-run tabloid, The Global Times, has also been on a publishing spree, posting dozens of stories on Xinjiang since the start of the month. And many of them are about cotton. Xinjiang provides 85% of China's cotton and about 20% of the whole world's. But concerns over forced labour have prompted some Western retailers to reconsider their use of the region's cotton. That sparked a government-led boycott of some brands. And Chinese netizens are also taking matters into their own hands. Nothing like burning your own Nike shoes to show support for Xinjiang cotton. Some of the offending brands have even been blurred out on Chinese television. And if that seems like overkill, here's a comparison made by the Chinese Foreign Ministry last month.
这是当时在美国黑奴被强迫在棉花地里采摘的照片。这是我在网上可以看到的，请同事帮我打出来的中国新疆的棉花田里的情景。
Make of that what you will. Meanwhile, Swedish clothing giant H&M, which has borne the brunt of the boycott campaign, had its stores removed from several Chinese map services. But H&M first said it would stop using Xinjiang cotton way back in September last year. So why all the fuss right now? Well, timing is everything. Last month, the EU, the UK, America and Canada slapped sanctions against high-ranking officials in Xinjiang over human rights abuses. China responded with a round of its own sanctions and seems to be putting Western brands operating in China on notice. Don't get involved in politics or risk losing business. But it seems an increasing number of retailers know any reputational stain may be hard for customers to wear. And while we're at it, take a look at this. This state-backed Sound of Music style musical was released in Chinese theatres last month. The Wings of Songs is another sleek portrayal of life in Xinjiang as peaceful and harmonious. This type of propaganda on Xinjiang is not new, but the effort appears to be in overdrive, and it's led to a new round of personal attacks against China's Xinjiang critics.
I have been enduring the smear campaign for a month. The Chinese state has called me a female demon.
Journalist Vicky Xu has been among the most targeted.
I was lynched in the Chinese media, along with a lot of my peers who study Xinjiang.
The Global Times this week published a bizarre hit piece against her, where she's described as bewitched. The Chinese Consul General in Sydney shared the piece on Twitter, but later deleted it.
They tend to sort of attack researchers, individuals themselves, without really addressing the actual evidence presented by researchers around the world.
Non-stop media coverage and attacks against Xinjiang critics may not be enough to convince us that all is well in the region. With Western governments now pursuing sanctions and with some even labelling the human rights abuses as genocide, the world may finally be taking notice.